You must be off your rocker, is exactly what I thought when I heard someone not only stepping on, crumpling up, and flushing another person's hope. This person's American dream. All right, check it out. We're at a luncheon, right? You've been at luncheons where you know some people, you don't know everyone. So I have the pleasure of being at the table with people I really didn't know, but we're having casual conversation. You know how it goes. You're networking. And there's this one person, and you probably know someone this describes. They are a self proclaimed know it all. I mean, they are an expert on all things, and they are more than happy to share unsolicited advice for you and how you should run your life. Well, during the course of our meal and our conversation, there's, a lady who shared that she was interested in purchasing a home. Well, unleash the know it all. She just unloaded on this lady about how that was the most stupid thing she'd ever heard. How could anyone consider purchasing a home today with the interest rates being higher than 2%? And I'm thinking to myself, well, ma'am, it's been higher than 2% for quite some time. Oh, you have to be nuts to buy a home today with the prices as high as they are. Well, yeah, the prices do go up and more than they were, 5 years ago. That's what we call appreciation. That's a good thing. As she was unloading her thoughts onto, well, anyone and everyone who would dare to listen, you can see the life just draining from the face of this person who was kind of hopeful that they could actually attain the American dream. Oh, and there are 4 components of the American dream where people feel like, hey, I've arrived, I've achieved, I've attained, I am living the American dream. See if you recognize these 4 and raise your hand if you agree. Coming in at number 4, the 4th component or factor to the American dream is a college degree. Now that may or may not be for you. You might think, Tracy, you gotta kid me. There's no way I'm going to incur all this debt or encourage anyone to do it. Just get a trade and live your life. I agree. College is not for everyone, but for some people, it's a marker of success. Coming in at number 3 is success in their career. Well, of course, who doesn't want to be successful? Because that's how we maintain our livelihood. And the number 2 thing that people consider as living part of the American dream is being able to retire. Well, that sounds real good to me. To be able to retire and enjoy retirement, well, that's pretty high on people's marker. And the number 1 thing, the number 1 factor that people feel, if I have this, I'm living the dream. And that is home ownership. So no matter the interest rates or the price of the house, owning a home still gives people that sense of pride and part of the American dream. So back to the luncheon. I finally pulled the lady aside. I mean, I didn't know her that well, just, casually. And I got to speaking to her because frankly, the expert in the room when it comes to real estate was me. And so I wanted to know, hey, tell me more about your story. And why do you feel so discouraged? Well, she made some dumb choices in her life. I mean, she shouldn't have, but she did. She did have some college debt that she's been like nibbling at and really used to pay down or didn't pay it all for a while. And, she racked up her credit card in different debt just to kind of make it and survive. So she did some things that she's regretful, but she made up in her mind, I want a piece of that pie, some equity, wealth through homeownership. So I told her, hey, you know what? I'm going to stay in my lane and let me introduce you to one of my preferred lenders. Let them talk to you because you might be in a panic, fearful, and paralyzed unnecessarily. You're correct to be concerned, but we don't want you to not even go for it because you don't think you can. So fast forward, I call her, I follow up, how we do. We want to check in on people. And when I tell you, she was so emotional in that call because she said, you know what, Tracy, I went through the motions of what you said, call the lender. Sure, I wasn't very hopeful. But when I was told I can buy a home, let's do 1, 2, 3 things and I'm good to go, I never thought that the American dream, however elusive, whether or not you think it's a fable, the American dream can be part of my story. And I've helped a lot of people. And even I got choked up So that inspired me to create this video because I have a feeling she's not the only person who might be feeling as though that's someone else's story. That doesn't belong to me. And I got inspired. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to share the wealth. And I'm going to share with you one thing you should consider if you're feeling like you're stuck and you really want to move into a home, but you have a list of reasons why you can't. One thing that people are finding to help them with affordability is moving farther out. And that's exactly what she did. And now she has a new set of keys for her brand new home. And if you're thinking about purchasing a home, or you know someone who is, and they're kind of questionable about their credit or their finances, hey, I'm not a credit recovery repair person, but I can share with you some ideas that help broaden your mind and your thoughts to help you achieve your goal. Are you ready? Hi, I'm Tracy Sorrell with the DFW Life, and I help people attain that American dream on a regular basis. And I know you each have your own story. It's not a one-size-fits-all, but I was so inspired to share a few tips with you that you can at least work toward an attainable goal. And the one thing that you may have to do is move farther out. Why? Because there's so much opportunity. And not only that, new construction may be a viable option because you would not believe the incentives they are given. So we're going to cover new constructions, the things to look for if you purchase new construction, and why purchasing new construction is the winning formula for you. Now, this is the part I like to call show and tell. I'm going to show you a home in its natural, raw shape and condition. No pretty staging. It's not going to be the model home, because sometimes we get distracted by the whistling bells, and when we show up to look at the actual home, it's like, well, that's a little lackluster. I can't even imagine where to put my furniture. So that's why I wanted to start it out with this particular home, where it's all in its natural state. But here's the thing, stick with me, because I'm going to show you this home fully furnished. So you know how you go into the homes and you're like, I don't even know, will my couch even fit into that space? Or this room sure feels tiny. Can you even get a twin bed in here? Where you're going to see how they maxed out, blew out these spaces, and how you can have a home gym. Maybe you don't need all of the bedrooms. You can have the flexibility of having a home office, a home gym, a number of things. I think you're going to enjoy seeing the after the show and tell to see how they actually made what seems pretty dull. It's just a bunch of walls when you walk through a home, and to see how they created that space, and it's so beautiful. Let's take a look. You'll notice in most of new construction homes in our DFW Metroplex, you're gonna have a landscape packaging. You should have gutters, downspouts, and also 6-foot privacy fence. That's pretty common and typical that you will see in our new constructed homes. And the other thing you're going to see is the messiness. You're going to have noise. It's going to be congested because these homes are under construction. So you're going to be living in something that feels like a construction zone, but that's okay because it will pass. Eventually it will stop and you'll have your quiet space, but it might be the price you have to pay while it's under development. Now, let's take a look at our first home. This is the before, and then remember, stick with it because I'm going to show you similar space and how it looks once it's fully furnished and totally decked out.
Now here's one home I wanted you to check out because I think it's a fairly good price. It's a good deal, a great way for you to enter in our real estate market and start gaining that appreciation equity. Now they are still building out here. I'm in Crowley, of course, and there's a lot of places to build here because Crowley still has land to expand. In fact, you probably can hear some workers behind me, some music, maybe some instruments, some equipment that they're working on a home right as we speak. So I want to share this one with you. It's a 5-bedroom, 2-bath. It's priced around $353, maybe a little bit more, but it's a great deal because you're able to get into a home like this while it's still under construction. And typically that's a pretty sweet deal for you, because as the development continues to grow and homes continue to sell, then that's usually more appreciation and equity for you, because you have got in on this deal before it's completely built out. And usually the more that it expands, the more expensive, then the higher the prices for the home. So getting in ground floor or while the neighborhood is still under development is a great time to buy your home. So let's take a look at this one. Now we're going to take a look inside. I'm going to give you this tour. And as I give you the tour, if you've been watching any of my videos, you know I'm going to be honest with you and point out some things that you may not have considered when you're looking for your next place, especially if this is one of your first homes. Let's take a look. All right, so we have a nice entry. It's, you know, a pretty standard entry, but I do like how it feels spacious, because sometimes you walk into these places and you feel claustrophobic. This home is a 5-bedroom, 2-bath. So the layout of this home, you have one of the bedrooms off the front, just going down the main entryway. There's your closet, walk-in closet. And having a room or space off of the main entryway, well, you can use that as your office space if you don't really need that bedroom. And obviously, this is the laundry room. Nothing really exciting about this space. It's pretty common and typical layout, where you'll have your outlets for your washer, your dryer, and you do have a shelf above. Some places you might see cabinets along with the shelving. So we just left bedroom number 1 off the entry. Remember, that can be your office or your workout space. This is bedroom number 2. Now this one is a lot more spacious, but the same setup with your walk-in closet. All right, let's see what else this home has to offer. Here is your main bathroom for your guests and the other bedrooms. Now with this, one thing to consider with this particular layout, you have 4 typically other bedrooms sharing the 1 bath. So that's something to consider. And then you have 2 other bedrooms, equal sizes, same walk-in closet situation across the hall from one another. Here's the other one. So far we've taken a look at 4 bedrooms. And I know what you're thinking, golly, you know, when the homes aren't decorated, there's nothing really exciting about them. But sometimes when you don't have that decoration, you can really see the space. So this is a nice combination space. You have living and dining. And you have the echo because it's vacant. So you would probably, I'm just guessing, switch out the lights, maybe add something with a ceiling fan if you want to. Hey, it's your home. Go and find your designer lights, however you want to fix it up. But this is a space, a nice size space. And then of course, one of the most important areas in a home is the kitchen. And you will typically see, even if it's entry level, whatever level, you're gonna at least see granite. Sometimes the countertops can get a lot more extravagant with higher grade granite. You can have marble, you know, you've seen homes. You have different surfaces. So let's just take a look at this one, because this one is priced, and I definitely want to let you in on this, at $353. So they do offer quite a bit of cabinets for you, and the square feet is around a little more than 2,100 square feet. Let's take a look at this pantry. And this is a nice size pantry, because remember, it's about 2,100 square feet. So it's not an extremely large home. It's a comfortable home. Let's keep looking. Of course, that's where your refrigerator will go. So be sure to measure your space. Do not get happy and buy furniture and appliances for a home you don't own, but you want to measure that space to make sure that refrigerator won't be too large. Okay, let me just pop out and take a look at the backyard really quick. So you see that the builder has a concrete slab. Now, if you take too many steps, you might fall into the grass. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you, it's not very much. But what many people do here in Texas and probably throughout the country, many people will extend the slab so they can have a larger patio. You're gonna absolutely, because you are in Texas, come on, we've got heat here. You're gonna absolutely put some type of ceiling fan, replace that light. If you're gonna extend the patio, go ahead and extend that rooftop or add something so you can have that coverage. And most builders in our Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex will include 6-foot privacy fence unless you back up to a lake or pond or golf course. All right, so we know the kitchen is one of the big pulls that people enjoy about a home. Well, the second thing is the place that you're going to relax and retreat after a long day. So this is the primary suite. Of course, we don't say master suite anymore. That's not politically correct. So primary it is. So that is your walk-in shower. Gonna swivel so you can look at the closet. So extra storage, we always love that. I've never had anybody complain about having too much storage. Walk-in closet. And the one thing that I wanted to point out that you will see commonly here in Texas and maybe other places is that you have the built-in blinds that you can just kind of lift them with this little lever or just open to let some sunshine in.
Now, I'm sure you're excited to see what they have done with this space. Let's take a look at the model home with the similar space, and I really want to know what you think about the space that's been turned into an in-home exercise place where you'll see the bar, like a ballet bar. You'll see it. You'll see it. Let me know what you think about how they used this space. So now that we've taken a look at Crowley and what Crowley has to offer, we're going to go and hop over to Burleson. And I wanted to keep it fair, apple to apple. Both of these communities are developed by the same builder. The difference you will see in some of the communities is with Crowley, for example, they have some amenities. They have a park, a playground, some things to do in the development. However, when you go to Burleson, this particular community by the same builder, they don't have the clubhouse or the common grounds with the walkways. You still have sidewalks to enjoy, but this is a smaller community where you can go to maybe the community center to enjoy the things. And remember, Burleson has more things to do than as far as downtown Burleson than Crowley. But Crowley has a lot of things going on. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty to do. But let's just look at this next development in the city of Burleson, because I'd be interested in knowing which one you prefer. Let's take a look. Well, before we drive over to Burleson and take a look at a couple of more houses, I wanted to take a pause and take a look at money. Let's see if these dollars make sense. So both of these communities is owned and developed by the same builder. And this builder is offering the same incentives. So I want to keep it apple to apple so you can get an idea of, if what is my savings if I choose one community over the other? What is my savings if I choose to go with new construction and take advantage of all of these discounts and incentives versus if I don't? So let's just get started. So these communities are in two different cities. So when you're looking for a home, the two things that you want to be very aware of is the tax rate. Burleson has a lower tax rate than the city of Crowley, so that will make a difference in your monthly savings. The other thing to be aware of is the HOA. Most new construction homes are within an HOA. HOA is not a one-size-fits-all. It depends on the amenities, the features, a number of things. But in these two communities, Crowley has a more expensive HOA than Burleson. So although these numbers alone may seem small, it will impact your monthly payment. And we're going to go over those in detail. So here is the incentive that this builder is offering, and we're going to look at the bottom line. This builder is offering a refrigerator, a washer and dryer, mini blinds or some type of window treatment, and a garage opener with a remote. Now I know what you're thinking. Are you kidding me? I can buy a home and leave myself so vulnerable with no window treatments? Yeah, with new construction, mini blinds is not something that automatically conveys with the property. That's one of your additional decorator packages, or just do it off market after you purchase a home. Go to a hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot, Costco, whatever, and get your own mini blinds. No, a garage door opener is not necessarily something that comes automatically with the home. So these extra expenses that you might normally have when buying a new construction, they're just giving it to you. And on top of that, they're offering to pay $10,000 to $20,000 toward your closing costs. Now that's a good deal. If a builder or if anyone is offering something towards your closing costs, that's less money that you have to bring to the table. Well, let's take a look at money and see if these savings in dollars make sense. Let's look at Crowley. The builder is now offering, if you're going FHA, a 4.99 fixed interest rate. If you're going conventional, it's a little bit higher interest rate, it's 5.99. But that compared to today's rate is still a significant savings. If you purchase a home there in the Crowley community, and let's say it's a 30-year mortgage, although many people don't stay in their homes for 30 years, but for the sake of this demonstration, let's say it's a 30-year mortgage. At 4.99% FHA loan for a $354,000 home, we're looking at a monthly payment at about $3,057 versus $3,379,000 that it would normally be without the 4.99% interest rate incentive. So what does that mean to you? You are saving $322 a month, which equals to about $3,900 a year. Now, what could you do with an additional $3,900 a year? Well, that will cover another mortgage payment. And of course, it would cover your eating out and a number of other things that you normally plan and schedule to do. Now, let's look at the same price in Burleson. In Burleson, if you purchase a home at $354,000, now keep in mind, Burleson has a lower tax rate and the HOA in this particular community is lower. You're looking at a monthly payment of $2,989 versus $3,351. So that equals a $362 a month difference between taking advantage of the 4.99 interest rate and the rate for today. And if you calculate that out annually, you're saving almost $4,000. Now, what could you do with additional $4,000 a year? Now, yes, those prices of the homes are the same, but because there are differences within the city and the community, that makes a difference with your bottom line. But if you enjoy some of the amenities that you would have in the community of Crowley, a park, playground, trails, then that's where you want to be, regardless of the difference in money. But if you really don't care about those things and you would rather save the money, Burleson may be a better fit for you. So hopefully the savings on those dollars makes a lot of sense and why buying new construction right now is a great choice. These deals, I know somebody's telling you, oh, they're going to always have a deal. They're going to always have a special. They're going to always try to give you something. That is not true. Absolutely not true. A couple of years ago, the builders weren't doing much of anything. Why? Supply and demand. But maybe because they wanted to meet that demand, they have overbuilt because we still have a supply shortage. But now they are really trying to offload some of their product by giving you some great opportunities to get in with a huge discount. I mean, go ahead and monetize the price of a refrigerator, washer and dryer, mini blinds for your entire home, not just for a bedroom, or the garage opener. However you think, oh my gosh, that's really, can you just throw that in? They're not going to throw it in, especially if you wait around for the interest rates to really get low. Then there goes your deal, because now they don't have to. But right now they are doing it, and there are different incentives, different times of the month. But here's the thing, we just don't know when that well is going to run dry. We don't know when it's going to stop. So rather than waiting, my advice is to jump in and take advantage of it now. Now let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of homes in Burleson. In this section, I want to call this one the before and after, the big reveal. This is what you're going to see typically a couple of days before you close on your home. And I want you to be prepared for the things that you might see or experience. And then after we do the section, this walkthrough section, we're going to wrap it up with the after, what your home will look like once you finish these final stages.
There are a lot of benefits and rewards about, getting a new construction home. Exciting. You're the first one in there. Any kind of damage done, guess what? You did it. If anything is broken, yep, your family did it. But there's also the not so pretty side of construction. So if you catch your home being built, you may see all sorts of things, including, you might even see that too. But fortunately, that does not stay with the home.
This home is not 100% ready, but it is close. You can see areas that have been identified as needing to be adjusted before the homeowner moves in, including a deep clean. Areas are marked that need attention. You can even see where there's a mirror that, I don't know, maybe it was cracked or broken, needs to be replaced, but they haven't gotten the new finished mirror up quite yet. You'll notice paint that needs to be repainted, maybe textured, retextured on walls, scuffs. Anything and everything inside and outside of this home will be identified as needing to be repaired or replaced. It's going to be picture perfect and ready for you to move in before you sign your final paperwork and take ownership of this home. Let me share this quick story with you. I had one lady, she moved in or was, buying her first Texas home, and she was just beside herself. She said, this home is so filthy, it's so dirty, I can't sign the paperwork, I can't move in. And I reassured her that everything will be sparkling clean before she takes possession, and thankfully it was. And now for the big reveal, the after. There's so many great floor plans here in the Burleson community. I mean, almost anything that you're looking for, you probably can find. They have 1 story, they have 2 story. They even have plans where you have additional study, or you could have a plan that has almost a separate suite for your guests, where the bedroom and the bathroom is on the other side of the home. So if there's something that you are looking for, it's probably here. Well, I'm pretty strategic in choosing Burleson and Crowley to share with you today. Why? Because you may find more opportunity moving in this direction. Burleson and Crowley are south of Fort Worth. A lot of the growth, development, the busyness is going on north of Fort Worth. So that's something you just have to decide which lifestyle seems like a better fit for you. Let's talk about Burleson for a moment. So Burleson, downtown Burleson, the historic downtown, it's a pretty neat place. You have dining you can enjoy. You can just walk around. There's festivals. There are things to do. It's not very large because the city of Burleson, in comparison to some of our other cities, just isn't very large. However, if you're going to compare Burleson with Crowley, you'll notice that Crowley doesn't have the same feel for its downtown. They have a downtown. Of course, every city does. But it's smaller. You don't have that, let me go out and explore and, just walk up and down the streets to see shopping and dining. You're not going to find that in Crowley. The other difference you may see is, Burleson is larger. You have a little bit more than 60,000 people who call Burleson home. In Crowley, you have almost 21,000 people who live in that city. I wanted to share with you new construction. And the reason why I chose new construction is because that might be where you see some incredible opportunity. I mean, the builders are throwing everything at you plus the kitchen sink. They are working aggressively on the interest rates and the prices. So many incentives that they're giving you. So if you are thinking about making a move in and around our Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, maybe you've been in a lease and you're like, I don't know that I can find anything. Is it even affordable? I think these are some really great options for you to explore. Let's take a look at these cities a little bit more. Crowley and Burleson are only 4 miles apart. So the things that you would do in one city, they're so close together. Just get in your car and drive to the other. For example, if you decide to live in Crowley and you want to go to that outdoor eating and enjoying entertainment, hop in your car and drive 10 minutes and you're there in Burleson. So really, either one might give you what you're looking for. Both cities are only about 17 miles from the city of Fort Worth, because if you're in Burleson or Crowley, you're definitely going to go enjoy, explore the city of Fort Worth. And on some occasions, you might pop over to Dallas, and Dallas is about 30 miles from Fort Worth, but the 30 miles is going to feel like forever because you're going to hit traffic. You're just not going to be able to avoid it. Between the congestion of the roads and construction, you're going to hit a wall of cars. So just get a toll pass. And then in between Fort Worth and Dallas is Arlington, and that's what we describe as our entertainment hub. That's actually where you're going to see the Dallas Cowboys play their games. And that's where you're going to watch the Texas Rangers hit endless number of home runs out of the park. Now, if you don't want to drive to Fort Worth, Dallas, or Arlington, you still have some great cities nearby. We have the city of Mansfield that you definitely want to go visit, because that's where you're going to get some of your shopping and more restaurants than you may find in Crowley or Burleson. But let me tell you, both Crowley and Burleson are growing. So honestly, anything you're going to want, you can probably find it there. And just like any other smaller city, you're going to hop in your car and drive to the larger areas where you can have more diversity in your selection of grocery, clothing, entertainment, and all of those things that you're probably going to want to enjoy moving into these cities. Okay, a couple of more comparisons that we want to do. One thing I like to focus on are the school systems, because if you're moving into an area, schools is going to be important because that's what helps generate your appreciation and your equity. Even if you don't have school-aged children, the quality of the schools is still going to be very, very impactful. So let's look at these two school districts. Burleson Independent School District has 5 elementary schools and 4 high schools, and they receive an overall grade of an A- through niche. Crowley ISD gets an overall grade of a B-, and they have 3 high schools. Well, some people say 4. They have 2 9th grade centers and 2 10th through 12th grade. And they have 16. Wrap your mind around this. For this population to be so small, they have 16 elementary schools in Crowley ISD. I was so inspired to create this video because I know that people still want to achieve their American dream, and home ownership is part of that dream. Remember the lady I told you about at the luncheon who really, the life just drained from her face. You could just see it when she was so discouraged. Well, nothing gave me greater joy to help her realize that, guess what? People can tell you no, but there's still a yes. Even if it's delayed, it's still coming. So she was able to get into her home despite the interest rate or the prices, because remember, the builders are incentivizing you to make some serious moves with their offer. Hey, another important thing that I really would be remiss if I didn't share with you. Some people ask me on a regular basis, Tracy, do I need a realtor if I'm getting a new construction? I can just go in and talk to the builder's rep. Answer this for me. Everyone works for someone. If the builder's rep, that salesperson, works for the builder, who is working for you? Do you deserve representation and an advocate for you, even with new construction? Hopefully, your answer is yes. Even with new construction, you still need someone on your side. And we'll do another video that goes over different steps of buying new construction, whether it's $300,000, which is going to be hard to find in our DFW Metroplex, but whether it's 400, 500, 700, a million, multi-million dollar homes, some things for you to look out for. But for now, if you're thinking about relocating to our Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and you're feeling a little bit more encouraged because you've gotten a chance to realize how many incentives are out there for your new home, whether it's new construction or pre-owned home, I want to help you realize what's the best strategy, the best step to get you into the place that you want to create your memories and call home.